We continue this season with another sit-down interview with your 2022 All-Star Kelsey Plum and assistant coach Natalie Nakase as they discuss work ethic, developing the youth, and their belief in head coach Becky Hammond.
Came into training camp last season, right? And I heard about your work ethic. I actually heard about it from Morgan Valley. She was the one who told me, you're gonna love Kelsey Plum. She's the hardest worker that I ever known. Where does that work ethic come from?
Just growing up competitively, that's kind of where all my siblings and I just kind of learned to, just be, sometimes it can come across as like aggressive, but really at the end of the day, it's just like you want to win. You want to, like in life, life is, no one cares, just work harder. And so I think that kind of mentality was instilled from our family. And I feel like even just being around you, I know your work ethic and I see you, I just feel so much respect for you because I know how consistent you are. Like as a human being, and you could talk more about this, I'd love to know where that comes from, but like you show up every day and I know exactly who I'm gonna get as a human, as a coach, and I think that speaks volumes to you. So where did that come from?
That came from my dad. Yeah, same thing. Like it's how we were born, how we were raised. Someone basically who showed me the way. He literally worked every single day. No vacations. Christmas, we're still working. Birthday didn't really even matter. It was literally, we're gonna work first and then celebrate life after. But I think the biggest thing with my dad that he just instilled in me with the work ethic is just make sure you can help as many people along the way. That was what really he wanted me to do, and every day I just try to make him proud. For some reason, I don't know if that's a cultural thing or it's just something because we were so close. He was basically my best friend, and every day I kind of just wanted to make him proud of me. But see, to me, when you work, there's attention to detail that is the highest I've ever seen. From men, from women, doesn't matter. And I've seen some of the highest men, which I thought had incredible work ethic, but from eating habits, from sleeping, from the way you train, the way you even plan out your off season. Where did you learn that from? Like, where did you get that? Who taught you that?
I think it's kind of been a little bit over time, like trial and error. I've definitely watched some like older vets handle their business, and like be very deliberate about, like I remember watching Sue, and one day, I think I was like second year into the league, maybe, I joined her for a workout and, she gets there, she says the workout's at 10, she's there at like 8:45 and she's doing like her band and like pre-prep stuff, and then she does her active stretch, then she does her form shooting, and then she starts the workout. And I was like, whoa, that's different. And then when she goes, she's going game speed, she's doing certain things, and I'm like, I get, like watching her, I'm like, I get why you are who you are and how consistent you are, because you just show up every day and you're just consistent in how you continue to do I think the difference is the details. I kind of learned that from her, and I feel like, for me, I can sleep at night knowing that like I do everything, or I at least try to do everything in a certain way. Like, for example, today, like didn't shoot the ball well, but at least I can go home knowing that like I did everything to that point to be able to like help my team win. It might come across as like me being, super like aggressive or scoring, but like honestly, I want to win and I want to help my team where I can. And I feel like you resonate with that because like you're bringing people along the way, and I see you like the way that you work with Bay, the way that you work with Kia, the way you work with me, the way you work with Jackie, like I feel like you're very intentional and specific on certain players. Like where do you feel like as a coach, like that type of skill set, like where did you learn that? How does that different? Because like I promise you, coaches, like working with coaches, a lot of times people are just like, oh, we're just gonna do this. It's not like personal, So where does that come from?
Probably from Tyronn Lue. I think he was the one where he taught me how to adjust to players' personalities, that everyone's gonna need something different based off of what they need at that time. And he said the biggest thing, Nat, was you always gotta instill confidence, no matter what. And I'm like, well, what does that look like, And I actually, on the flip side, I asked Terrence Mann when he had that breakout game versus Utah in the playoffs, I said, how did you have that breakout game? And he's just like, honestly, Nat, he's like, T. Lue called me and he said that, Gobert, he's like, he's just gonna leave you. He's gonna leave you wide open. He's like, you're gonna have the same shots tomorrow. And he's like, and I want you to shoot every single shot that you see that's open. He goes, just take it, make or miss, I want you to shoot it. And Tyronn said, just that phone call, that intentional phone call, taking time out of his day, he goes, that just gave me the confidence to shoot it. And so I take those little things and I that's what I try to do with you guys. If any moment where I see you guys, you struggling, I want to be there for those tough moments. Celebration moments, those are great. Those are easy, but for me, especially again, how my dad raised me and a lot of my coaches when I was younger, like they were hard and they were tough, but they were always there for me when I needed them. And that's when I think coaching, you could take it to another level, is when you're there for the low moments. And so that's why I think it's important.
That's good, man.
Yeah. Obviously, you're very intentional with your off season. You started a class called Dog Class. Where did you get the inspiration? Where did you come up with the idea of it?
So when I got into the league, I struggled for years. And I felt like I got blindsided. I felt like I didn't know what to expect. I felt like physically I was not ready. Mentally I was not ready. I mean, even little things like you don't have pregame meal, you're on your own, or like, you get per diem, but like you're not really like, oh, it's an off day, but like you didn't play that many minutes, so you got to go do, like you should be doing this or this, like very specific things that I had no idea. And I feel like I just really struggled, and it took me to like tear my Achilles and get a new perspective on life to be able to like revamp my career. And so I felt like, I was at a lot of low points, like mentally and emotionally. And so I just wanted to you talked about like earlier, like making an impact. I'm like, okay, how can I help others maybe not go through what I went through? And so when I planned to sign with Under Armour, I didn't even sign yet, but I told them, I was like, hey, listen, this is really important to me. I want to do like a first class, high end, high caliber, bring in all the people that like I'm fortunate enough to work with, and like literally show them like, hey guys, like this is what I do. I'm not saying you have to do that, but like I wish someone would have told me that when I was in college. And so I felt like just kind of trying to basically like be a resource. And it's been really cool to see the like outreach from like college coaches, from other players, from the girls there that just felt like really impacted. And I want to continue to grow it. It's something that I want to do every year. I'm passionate about it, and I know that like God brought me through those times for like a very specific reason, and I know that it's so I can like basically like help the next wave of young women and grow the game.
So most stars that I've been around, that are high end caliber players, they don't give back. Where does that give back come from? I
mean, I think that like naturally, I've always like been pretty giving of my time, but I feel like lately just understanding like, man, I feel so blessed. I feel like God has really just given me so much, and I feel like allowed me experiences, and so I think you said it earlier, but it always like resonates with me is like how can I make people better? Whether I'm playing, whether I'm in life, whether, and so like that is what matters. It's really not about the statistics. It's really not about anything other than like making people better. And like, I remember this quote, I forget who said it, but it's like people don't remember a lot of things, but they remember how they made you feel.
Yeah.
And so like, I just try to make sure that like, I make people feel good, right. I don't know. I feel like you're very similar though. Like even knowing you make people and you bring out the best in people. Where does that come from?
I try. I try. I'm glad there's a response because I didn't know. Sometimes it's gone the other way. I'm just gonna be honest. Again, my dad just gave me a gift. Like he did it. He gave me the belief at a very young age, Nat, you could do anything in this world. He gave me that belief, and so no matter what, that's like when I started to play. I wasn't heavily recruited going to UCLA, got in there, started, played professionally, didn't think I could do that. Coached in the NBA, didn't think I could do that. But my dad always just was like, keep going, keep trying.
Isn't it crazy how when you have someone that is just like consistently believes in you, like how far that goes, like the impact that it makes in your life?
Well, Becky, I'm sure, is one for you.
Oh yeah. I mean, even today, I'm like, offensive foul. She's like, no, don't worry about it. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, what? But no, I think it's like, I mean, yeah, I got better as a player, like from the season before to last season, but like I went from, and this is no whatever, but just like a different style of coaching. Yeah. And it's like that, I mean, that can literally make the difference. Right. For anyone, you know, a phone call, like you said earlier, like it can make the difference.
Right. Like talk a little bit about, because I just know from, you know, bits and pieces you told me and what Becky's told me about how you guys started off in the beginning of the season, and then how you guys ended and how you guys are now.
So she got the job, and maybe like a week later she called me, and she was like, hey, you know, super excited, you know, see you soon, because training camp, you know. Right. She was like, I just want to let you know that, you know, we're not exactly sure yet, but pretty sure we're going to bring you off the bench. And I just remember, like, because I had come off the bench, I was 6th Woman of the Year, right? I come to the bench the previous year. And I was so pissed because I was just like, how dare you? You didn't even see one practice yet. Right. And you made up your mind. Right. And so this is where spiritually I've grown. But I went into training camp last year, like, I mean, just a possessed human being. Yes. And, you know, I think after the first day, she was like, okay, I take it back. Like, okay. Right. Which was like, you know, one of the things I appreciate about her is just she's like, she has no problem saying like, yeah, you're right, you know? And I think now, I mean, throughout the season, there's like a level of trust, and she knows that like she can challenge me and I'm gonna respond. And I think that, you know, just battling through, seasons have ups and downs, but I mean, I think that we're at the point now where she feels like a very high level of trust in me, that she knows what she's gonna get. And yeah, I mean, I love playing for Becky.
So the off season wasn't just about, you know, dog class and the basketball skills. It was also something more personal. So do you want to talk about a new event that happened?
It's so funny because I don't even wear like the real ring.
And why not?
I'm not that girly, but no, I mean, it's been amazing. I feel like, you know, we talked a little bit about work-life balance, but he's a lot different than me in a good way, and so it's like very, you know, steady. So I might come home and everything's on fire, and you know, it's just like he brings me back to center, which is very helpful. But no, don't get me wrong, it's hard. I mean, being married to a professional athlete that is in New Jersey, you know, now, it's tough, you know, and you have to be very intentional about like trying to figure out how to spend time together. I like booked his tickets for him to meet us in Atlanta when we play Atlanta. And I was like, make sure you tell your teammates you're getting flown out. Like, make sure you tell them that you're getting flown out, because like, I know that they ain't getting flown out. You know what I mean? But we try to keep it light and fun, because at the end of the day, like, he's just a very like joyful, fun, genuine human being.
How was it finding out about him getting traded?
Sports is a business, and like even you talked earlier about having feelings. Like you have to understand that this is a very short window, specifically as a player, to maximize what you got. So for him, like just pure football wise, the best thing for him to be is with the Giants, and so I'm really happy for him. And I can't be one of those people that I want to be supported, and you know, I want all these things like in my career, and then not support him. Exactly, you know, and like I'm sure you touched on it, like coaching might be harder than playing.
Yes, it is. It is 100%. Play as long as you can. Play as long as you can.
But I'm sure you've had like life changes that are significant, like going from Clippers to then coming here, and I'm sure you got a lot of heat for it. So for switching leagues and being like at the little sister league, tell me about that.
I guess it's perspective, you know, like going from the men's to the women's. It was just all perspective of other people's opinions. It was what was good for me. All what happened was I had a conversation with Becky, you know, and Becky talked about life, we talked about hoop, we talked about playoffs. I mean, we talked about everything. And I'm like, man, I could really learn from Becky. Like, she's been through the same experiences I've had in the NBA, but on top of that, her IQ was higher than most NBA coaches. Like, she's not just a coach, the best coach in W. She's one of the best coaches in the world. And so I knew that was going to be good for me. And at the end of the day, too, she has such a good heart. And I needed, especially with my dad passing the year before, I needed to be in that space. You know what I mean? And when she said, hey, you know, what is it going to take to get you here? That's all I need. That's all I needed to hear.
Like, how long were you here before you like told yourself like, well, I actually like them a lot more than the guys?
You guys do things that are impacting the world. You go out to the communities, you made the dog class, like you guys are intentionally trying to make the world better, and that is all about what I want to do in life, you know, and same thing with Becky. Like, we want to help this league grow. Right. We want to get you guys paid. Whatever we see in the NBA, that should be done for you guys.